Hello, day 29 of our reflective tarot reads. So we are 4 weeks, one day of the Omer, so we've moved into the 5th week. After this, there's just Yesod and Hesed to look at. So today we've got the 4th, Hesed, that endless, boundless flow from source, and we have Hod. Now Hod, its Hebrew word, the 8th Sephirot, is gratitude, humility. Other words for Hod is splendor, majesty, sincerity, elegance, flexibility, diversity, appreciation. Excuse me. So for me, these two together I see as seeing the splendour, Hod, of the endless flow, Hesed, of generosity in the diversity of creation. You know, nature, people, the cosmos. Open the eyes of our heart, I say. So we've got to remember that Hod is with the other side, Netzach, so that's the healthy ego when it's balanced, the outgoing flow that we talked about last week. So this is the pairing to Netzach. Hod's also associated with the thinking and the intellect, so in the Kabbalah. So I've chosen wands for this week because in the Kabbalah they're associated with the world of Atzilut up here, which is closest to source, so a spiritual level of consciousness, the wands in the Kabbalah, the core of being, you know, fire, primal energy, passion, perception of original thought. So a sense of both primal nature and higher nature, the feeling, imaginative part of the psyche. So the Four of Wands, you know, whenever I look at this, I see warmth, openness. So the wands in this image for me, it invites you in, kind of want to go into that. And I think I said it before, it represents a chuppa, which is a covering in the Jewish tradition in the weddings. So it represents the place of marriage and union. It also speaks of homecoming, return. So reunion, it's got that feeling of the open-heartedness of Sephirot, as well as Hesed. You know, so the heart receiving endless flow, the Hesed. So that's how the 8 of Wands, I mean the 8's with Hod, and obviously we'll be with this 8 of Wands all week. The 8's are that new greater stability. So the Wands, 8 of Wands are one of the few tarot, they haven't got a person on them. So for me, this is showing an energy of a flow of messages, creativity, passion to the mind. Hod, intellect. Yeah, to the mind, like an ordering of how things are perceived. So messages to order the psyche, but drawn with this 4, drawn from that openness, the openness of Hesed. So these two together say to me, you know, there's been an openness, or there is an openness to perceiving and receiving, so open to transformation. Then we have our lovely devil. Now, Hesed to Hod passes straight through Sephirot. It's that diagonal path. So the devil is the path from Hod to the heart. And the hermit I have there is the path from the heart to Hesed. So they're the two diagonals of that. I'll put them like that. So the devil, I mean, before I go on about the devil and the hermit, the thing I like about them, the devil is Capricorn earth energy and the hermit is Virgo earth energy. So they're both about the earth, but they're both showing different aspects. So they kind of show, well, it would, wouldn't it? Because that is that side and this path of the devil is that side. They always put the devil with the feminine. Anyway. Right, so the eights are, oh no, sorry, we talked about the eights, haven't we? The devil, it's kind of like the mental body Hod to the heart. So you've been open in the Four of Wands. You've had that open-heartedness of the Four of Wands, and you've received message, you know, creativity, passion, and used your mind to order this incoming, you know, the incoming messages. Then there's a decision. The devil, the earth, material, the fire of passion. They look like they're ready for some alternative passion. Right, Karen. So it's like the instinctual root sacral energy. So here there's this sense of making a decision to chain yourselves to the pleasure, you know, but there's nothing wrong with pleasure. They're here to be enjoyed, but this is a decision to become, you know, it can be addiction and sexual addiction, any kind of addiction. But you know, our sexual pleasure, food, drink, they're all here to enjoy. But there's that sense, it's that power of the sensual, very, very powerful essential. So we can be blindsided by that power and not find the deeper aspects, the mystical aspects of, you know, those pleasures. So they remain like 3D, three-dimensional and base. So that's a decision we can make in that path. But the hermit can come to your aid. Da, da, da. Yeah. So he's the path, as I said, from Hesed, to Sephirot to the heart. The unbounded, endless flow, of which, you know, that sensual pleasure is part of, you know. But he's got that six-sided star, the Merkaba, yeah, for illumination. So really, he sees, you know, he sees the lovers, the card of the lovers, which I think is very pairs with that. But he sees the devil too, this one. So he views the mystical union of the masculine and feminine, of the lovers or the devil, as well as the sensual pleasure. So he's the guide to our souls in our body, in that sense. You know, he'll guide you. That energy, that archetype of the hermit is guidance. Don't come there to stop you, you know, having pleasure, but to kind of guide you to the deeper mystical aspect of it. His work is to free the divine from the material, really. He comes to illuminate the physical and material world. I mean, he is earth energy, but he comes to illuminate that. So, you know, his energy is the energy that releases the divine from the material. So in that pleasure, instead of getting chained to that pleasure or being kind of chained and ruled by the pleasure and addicted to the pleasure, he'll come and he'll release the divine meaning from that. So in sex, it will be the union of the masculine and feminine. You know, any pleasures in the world, that are material, the hermit energy will kind of illuminate that and show you the polarity and the beauty and the mystic side of all the material. It's self-realization, like, you know, source essence in the material. Self-realization. We're meant to desire, to taste, to enjoy and expand through our experiences, but we're not meant to get chained and stuck in them, obsessed. You know, life's too short, too many experiences to be chained to one. Well, that's my view anyway. So the hermit will actually give you a kind of gratitude for the stunning diversity and beauty of life, but also a realization that there's a greater truth buried within all this. So the suffering, the sense of separation from the self, from other, environment, the cosmos, you know, source, occurs when we're chained to the material. We're meant to expand, grow, transform through all of our experiences, whether pleasurable or not. We're meant to be open, like that chapter, and see through the material to the truth of what already is. So it's kind of dance with the universe, you know. Yeah, so they were my reflections on that. I've got Rumi back again after our White Knight deck last week, and the card I pulled was the Victory of Miriam. Beautiful card. I'll read you what Rumi says. He said, if you're longing to caress the moon, that desire, don't turn away from it. If you're not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You're in a quarry of sweets, the material. Why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life. Why are you withered inside? Don't fight against yourself. Don't flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and soul are enlightened. Get out of the old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you afraid of a fox when you descend from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all your locks. And he goes on to say, you feel you are immortal and I know you're divine. You feel you're not ready for the task and I know that triumph is only moments away. You reach for me for protection, but you are me, and the protection that you seek is already within you. We are not apart. He shows you there's no separation. We are not apart. I am living through all that you are and all that you love. So all that you love, even your pleasures, all that you love, all that you have lost, and all that you offer to me in surrender. I am in you as your courage and magnificent, and any task I send to you is simply one of the tasks for which you were born. You're an eagle with wings ready to soar, so I push you from the cliff top that you may know yourself. Yeah, so there's that sense of all that you are, you know, this endless flow, this kind of don't get stuck. Yeah, the world is like a sweet shop. There is so much to enjoy and experience, but we're meant to fly. We're meant to see the deeper truth, not just the 3D truth. We're meant to see the mystical truth of all that is. Yeah. So my kind of reflections, I'm just going to pull us today a message card, because that's quite a lot of information on the first day of Hod. As I say, we'll be with Hod all week. So, yeah. And there's such a depth to these words that appear, you know, kind of religious, you know, humility, submission. But there's such a depth, there really is. You know, it helps when you're looking at this Kabbalah. It kind of does free you up from the religious dogma. It's more of mystical truth. So, and words are really powerful. I mean, that's why you've probably heard it before, why you spell, because, and the Kabbalah actually with the Hebrew letters, there's enormous power. It's like the Logos. So that, you know, the Logos, let there be light, that's the Logos. So it's, you know, it's a new way of looking at old things, or it's an old way of looking at things. I think, yeah, we've lost the meaning of a lot of words. Okay, there we are. You are an I. Use this higher aspect of yourself to redeem your shadow aspects. Yeah, so that's a good card for that. You're an I. Use the higher aspects, that energy of the hermit, the mystical, to redeem your shadow aspects. So where we've got caught and chained in the material can be redeemed. All right, so there's your messages. Lots of love. See you tomorrow.